Have you ever finished the week but somehow feel like you did almost nothing? You had plans, you had dreams, and just really wanted to do something this by this week, but unfortunately, the week some just completely disappeared. What about just think the opposite for a while? What about having a week where you were productive, you were disciplined, you were confident, and you were in control, you were patient? Not just because of working a lot, working, being busy, but because of being productive. Truth is, productivity isn't just about working hard or working, working with this so much effort or being busy all the time. Productivity is about building a right and smart habit. You know what? Today's videos. I'm gonna share 7 habits that's gonna change your life completely. It will make you productive. It will make you disciplined. It's gonna change your week in a week that you have never had before. Well, hello guys, my name is Tommy. Thank you for coming up to my voice room. I'm always appreciate it. And today video is somehow a little different. Before we talk about general topics about life things, about complaining, about how to be mature, which was our previous topic. But today, I just really wanted to kind of be a little bit detailed, right? As I mentioned before, our videos is going to be made of 7 habits, which are the solid Stoic habit that have been being practiced over centuries by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, guys who had nothing, but they changed a life because of this right habit, and it will become yours. If you just apply this few habit constantly in your life, you'll become someone new. You will turn into new mindset. You'll become totally in different person by the end of this year. And as I promised it, please subscribe our YouTube channel if you like it. And if you don't, it's totally alright. It's your choice after all, and I will be always happy and excited to provide information about Stoic philosophy. If we just guys really just start with the first habit. First habit, winning in the morning. Winning in the morning is basically means to wake up early. Wake up early in the morning. Let me just be honest, right? From experience, I've been always struggling to wake up early. And it's not one of the pleasant, it's not one of the easiest, it's not one of the enjoyable habit you would like to have. But it's the most indispensable and crucial habit. It's one of the first fundamental habit of our today habit. So you're gonna master this habit ASAP. Wake up in the morning for sure. On the reason to wake up in the morning, it means you will win the day. Winning a day, it means you will win the month. Month, it will become years, and years is will become life. You will eventually and ultimately winning your life. You'll become a person that you have been always wanted. Marcus Aurelius. Let me just give you a simple example of Marcus Aurelius, the guy who had everything. He was a emperor of Rome. He had wealth. He had no reason to wake up in the morning, as a matter of fact. But Marcus Aurelius would always remind himself he had to wake up in the morning. He had to go to work as a human being, and he would kind of challenge himself. He was created to handle under the blanket, enjoy the pleasant temperature. And he would kind of encourage us to observe all the animals, all the species, all the insects that who lives and exists in this world are doing the individual and tiny tasks to put the world in order. And who do you think we are to ignore our responsibility and ignore our job as a human, as Marcus Aurelius said that. So one of the fundamental core belief behind waking up in the morning is to get the most important thing done. Get the harder thing out of the way. One still has the freshest energy in the morning, right? I mean, there is so many reasons actually. There are so many benefits to wake up in the morning from a health perspective, from a spiritual perspective, from a scientific perspective. You can actually search all deeply and profound. There is so much benefit to wake up in the morning. But I just really want you to leave this to this video by reminding one reason to wake up in the morning is to connect with your nature, to connect with only nature who wants you to be successful, who wants you to become good and better human being before being dragged down into merely frustration and difficulty of life. Because when you wake up in the morning, it means no one has yet waken up. World has not yet waken up. There's a few cars outside, but you can still be quiet. You can enjoy what you truly think, what truly matters. You can accomplish the most important task in the morning. You will win the morning. You will win the day. And in later, you can actually finish whatever plan you have in your schedule, right? For Stoic philosophy, it's really considered as a principle to avoid soothing the bottom, to avoid, to avoid your alarm in the morning. You have to wake up in the morning. You have to accomplish your task as a human being. You have to become a person. Is what philosophy is trying to make you want with the control and with the sanity. Our second habit is we treat the body rigorously. So let's just start with one of the interesting assumptions of Stoic philosophy and generally philosopher of what we think, what our young modern people think. So we think like philosophers are all people who all about pursuing intellectual things, all about studying, all about hitting books, or nerd. But Stoic philosophers were totally exceptional to this rule. Stoic philosophers were active. Stoic philosophers were thinking that the reason to practice philosophy is inseparable from the active one. Active means the training physically. The Marcus Aurelius, let me just start with a couple of philosophers who had done a lot mentally and also physically. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of Rome. Despite of being an emperor, he had commanded so many generals. He commanded vast amount of his army, and he had gone to battle with a fellow general whose name is written in history because of they were heroes, because they were brave human beings. Marcus Aurelius was a brave person. He was a good at riding horse. He was a master of hunting, of the snow fighting. The Seneca would push himself physically each day. He would experiment how little, how minimal he could live in short things in the hustling in a cold temperature, and he could have his cold plunges. Socrates, he's also a quite popular philosopher. He was participant in army. He was boxer. He was wrestler. He was runner. He was in love with long walking every single day, right? Even the Socrates would kind of give us a advice by saying no citizen is not allowed to not taking care of their body physically because your country might need you, because your people might need your friend might need you too. So let me just share one of my favorite modern Stoic philosopher who actually I'm forgetting his name. He was he's been always smart mentally. He was blessed with a really intellectual power, but his body was fragile. He was really weak. And when he was younger, his brother approached him, say, "Son, you have got the mind, but you don't have a body." I think he may have probably kind of touched it by his word. He may probably get sensitive, and he made a commitment that from that day on I'm gonna make my body. And that's actually one of the few commitments he made himself. They had kept it every end of his life. So even the Seneca articulated the core idea behind the code, which we treat the body regardless so it's not disobedient to the mind, is there to foster us the idea that strong mind and strong body is needed to be complete human being. You can't be just become a complete human being just practicing mentally or just practicing physically. You need the both to become complete, well prepared citizen of this world. Okay, our third habit is journaling. Journaling is really crucial. So I remember I think it was last year, I was watching my favorite YouTuber and author podcast by journaling. His name is Ryan Holiday. I did advise guys to watch his videos. He's a really popular guy. He's really famous about Stoic philosophy. He talks about Stoic philosophy a lot, and I learned a lot from him. He's like my unknown mentor. Who doesn't know me actually. We he remember he was talking one day he was talking that one day he went to visit his friend who had a numerous journalist of spinning of his life. He was really astonished. As around holiday, he was really amused and how many journal his friend had. And his friend had given him advice, just you have to start journaling right now. You just have to start it. He took this advice seriously. He understood the profound meaning of this quote and he started writing a journal ever since that day. So on the takeaway from this habit is just to not overthink. You're just gonna start. That's the most important part of the journal. Let me just give advice which you should avoid. You should completely avoid of thinking like what kind of pen should I use? What kind of pencil should I need? How much time should I put on writing a journal? The thing doesn't matter. What matter? You just have to start. You just have to begin. You just have to hold the pen or pencil. There's a whale, but just have to start with a small letter if you can. Start with ridiculously small if you are able to. Because I remember when Ryan Holiday was talking that he'd been keeping 9 years of journaling that he just put, he puts one single line a day on his that book. So this small commitment, that small commitment that you do will build the momentum of habit and the build sustainability of this habit as well. I remember when I was reading a book of the Cynicus, he was writing a letter to his friend and he gave advice that each day one should always practice one thing or acquire one thing that will fortify us from being against poverty, against death, and against and misfortune. So journaling can be this one of the practice that you can internalize, you can apply to your life. That will help to change your life completely. That will help you to control your emotion because when you put down your thought on paper, it doesn't criticize. People may criticize, even your friend, your best friend, maybe your parents may criticize, but paper doesn't. Paper just be honest with you because you just are putting things down on paper. There's a one quote which I remember. I'm not sure who I've heard by, but the quote says that patient paper is more patient than person. I think it's totally true. So one to take away from this habit is just you just have to start right now. Don't think about it. Don't think about anything else. Just start with one paper, one pencil you have. Just start ridiculously small if you can. Okay, our fourth habit. Fourth habit is do things that you have been putting off. Right. Let me just start with this quote. With my favorite quote that comes from Seneca. Seneca said that all fool has one thing that all fools are common is they always are getting started to leave. He basically refers to people who always say, you know what, I will do it tomorrow, or I will do later, I will do when I have a good condition, I will do when things is better, I will do when my children are grow up, I will do when I get healthy or something else. They always come with excuses. And he said that this mindset leads you nowhere and gets you nothing, right? And I will do later is one of the biggest lie we tell ourselves. We kind of seduce ourselves with a kind of soothing excuse like all the letter, but some cases we'll never get to do later, right? We'll never do actually. So there's like mm, so for Stoic philosophy, for Stoic viewpoint, they always advocate immediate action if it's worth of doing it, right? So procrastination is always described as an entitlement because it always kind of assumes that we'll get to do it later, we'll have more opportunity, we'll have more time, which is not guaranteed because you don't have time. Your time is ticking away. This ticking away is really consequential. You have to make it better. You have to spend wisely, right? There's my favorite of the quote from Seneca. Seneca profoundly said that putting things off is one of the biggest waste of time because it snatches away each day comes. It denies the present by promising a future. And he said that future lies in uncertainty, right? So one of the biggest takeaway from this habit is just do it now. Do it when you have time. Do it when you are able to accomplish it. Do it when you are not yet late, right? Because time is really important. Time is basically one of the most what one of the most the thing that which never can be made of more, can never accumulate of. No, it's renewable. Is cannot be founded anymore. You have to make it better. You have to make sure you spend wisely. Our fifth habit is go to sleep, my friend. Go sleep. So this actually habit is can directly connect with the first habit, which is of winning the morning. It says that discipline comes really easy in the morning when you are disciplined at night, right? The reason why you don't usually wake up in the morning, the reason why you are kind of lazy to wake up in the morning, because you have not been disciplined at night, right? Because when you get enough sleep, you're able to wake up early because you have gotten enough sleep. Some of the people who is me example, I usually go sleep so late, and the outcome is I wake up so late because I have to need this amount of sleep to make me energetic throughout the day, right? So Seneca discussed the necessity of relaxation for mind, he said, and sleeping is one of the most important part of it. Letting the mind turn off, letting the mind to reboot, letting the mind to reset is really crucial. We just work every single day without just sleeping. You'll burn out and your mind will burn out. So pushing oneself too far without inadequate adequate sleep and rest will diminish interest and become counterproductive, right? Like there's I think one popular phrase that we tell ourselves, I just really found hilarious actually. It's kind of ridiculously and ironically criticize it. That will tell that I will sleep when I die. It's actually you're actually basically attracting this merely idea of death by not taking care of yourself physically. Key to sanity, key to success is to sleep. It does definitely require certain discipline. Discipline to put your phone down when you're tired. To not go through night scrolling by watching the stupid and ridiculous and horrible news which doesn't even give you any benefit. Recognize your potential. Have a routine. Do something that you really want in life, right? This is really crucial as a human being for us. And also, you have to have awareness to stop, to put your phone down when you're tired and defer the schedule, defer all exercise for tomorrow, right? The Seneca actually mentions and tells one tale about the man who has never seen the sunshine, who has never seen the sunset, because he was working a whole day and a whole night, and he was burning himself out with so much exclusive amount of work. So pushing yourself for exhaustion, instead, you just have to let the day for review, as Seneca said. It basically means that take the little minutes off for journaling before you go to bed instead of scrolling your phone. Try to answer this question like, how could I have done this day better? How could I have done engaged this life better? And what kind of shortcuts you had you recognize, and how could how could you correct them if you can? Or what kind of good person you want to be next day? Or let's just take this off for reading a book, as Marcus Aurelius was doing when he was writing his book. When he was writing his book, he said that talking with death is one of the smartest thing to do, because when you talk with death, it basically means you're reading the book. So this night ritual is really crucial, but does require discipline. There's discipline to not scroll, discipline to not look at the screen, discipline to not drink exclusive amount of alcohol or anything you drink, which is ultimately bad to your health. This discipline enables us to wake up in the morning to become person who can handle hard and tough days. And with a discipline, with self-control, with sanity. So, our sixth habit is to practice negativity. So actually, practice negativity is kind of counterproductive for positive visualization, and because it's going to encourage individual to think what could go wrong and how can you handle them, right? As a Seneca gave us a really beautiful quote, he said that unexpected blow land heaviest. He basically said that it's really not good for a leader or anyone to think that to they should never ever think that, oh, oh, I didn't think that's gonna happen that way. Oh, I didn't think that's gonna happen that way. Because if we didn't think about this, we didn't consider about this negative outcome, negative thing may happen. It means no one think about this potential negative outcomes. So you have to need a be plan. You have to toughen up of yourself for get a for toughen yourself at least to not get surprised, right? For and yeah, that's the idea of practice negativity. So actually, this could be seen dark or could be still a bit uncomfortable, but the goal is to gain clarity, gain urgency, and gain the perspective, right? So and I remember, yeah. So also one thing about negativity, as a Epictetus gave us really great advice. He said that when you're going a trip, you have to remind yourself, you have to tell yourself about shipwrecks. You have to think about pirates. You have to think about the weather delays, and you have to ask yourself, how could you prepare yourself when the thing happen? The goal is at least to not get surprised when thing that happens, right? For a Stoic viewpoint, wise people is not surprised because they're not naive, because they have been told, they have possessed this knowledge of information that thing may occur, an obstacle that may occur. Their job is to think about negativity. Their job is to not get least get surprised. Our last and seventh habit is to think that one day you'll die. Momentum worry means you remember you will sure one day die. I think like this is one of the inescapable thing truth will affect to anyone in life, regardless of any condition they are. Whether you are poor, rich, whether you're healthy or strong, whether you are young or old. It's one of the promises which will never fail. So I know that thing about death is not usually good, is not considered good idea for in public, but I remember when Seneca actually told us people kind of got death wrong. People think that death something's gonna happen in the future once after we become older, after we and come to end our life. But this is wrong, he said. People are thinking wrong about death. But as a matter of fact, we are dying every single day. The time passes belong to that. He said that each time you pass, whether you do spend wisely, it means you're dying because your time is being spent anyhow. Your job is to spend wisely your time. Like Marcus Aurelius had a really great exercise he wrote in his book Meditation 5, which he had gotten from Epictetus. He said that when you are kissing your children on forehead before you go to sleep, tell yourself that they may not be able to go through this night. It could be the last time that they are speaking with you. That maybe that could be the last time you are kissing them on the forehead. So don't rush through. Don't be fast. Go through, slow down a little bit. And don't think that you have unlimited time in the future to do that things with your children anymore. That could be the last thing you can do because you don't know if you do, right? So this perspective which is dark and uncomfortable, help us to realize it that leave when you can still leave. Practice gratefulness when you can still practice gratefulness. And spend time with the people that you love and you appreciate it. And don't waste your time anymore for nonsense. And that is going to change your life. That's going to make you a better person. And think about that is not something wrong. You have to practice. And you have to remind that death is all around us. People are dying every single day. And you have to be grateful we're not one of us. But we shouldn't be afraid of it. We have to practice death. And you have to live upon by making your right choices and making a wise choices. So guys, that was our last and seventh habit, which I'm really appreciated. I hope this seventh habit is going to help you to change your life, to learn about this habit. I hope you can incorporate this seventh habit into your life and you can apply few of them. I hope you can apply at least 1 to 3 habits. That is going to change your life completely. I promise you. I've been practicing this habit for a long time and my life has changed a lot. I become a totally different person. I changed my mindset. I changed my perspective. It's like I become a totally new person. I'm telling you with simple and true evidence that will change your life completely. So if you like what I told, if you like what we do here, please subscribe in their YouTube channel. I hope you can talk, can see more videos in the upcoming days. I hope you can learn more, you can practice Stoic philosophy, which I will be really excited, which of course you will get more benefit from it. And I'll see you next video. Bye bye.